Welcome to the Unpacking It podcast with Bryce Johnson. It's a show that unpacks sports, faith, and life with intriguing guests from the sports and entertainment world. Enjoy inspiring conversations and thought-provoking interviews. You'll hear stories from people that will inspire, challenge, and encourage you. Now, from the Unpacking It studios in Charlotte, North Carolina, uniting sports fans everywhere, here is Bryce Johnson.
This is Unpacking It. I'm Bryce Johnson, and I'm really excited to be joined right now by Seth Curry. He played his college basketball at Duke and is now a guard for the Portland Trailblazers. He's had quite the basketball journey, and we're going to unpack his story and his faith journey here on the show today. Seth, thanks so much for joining us. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
All right. Well, we appreciate it. And, of course, you guys are gearing up for the playoffs here in the next couple of weeks. And this week, Charles Barkley actually declared the Blazers that you guys are going to the finals. And then Kenny Smith agreed. So what has the team made of those comments, and how confident are you guys at this point in the year?
I haven't even heard that yet. But, I mean, there's going to be a lot of predictions going around. We're playing good basketball right now at the end of the season. I mean, it's always good to play your best basketball towards the end of the season heading into the playoffs. And honestly, we're just trying to get to the playoffs, play well that first round, and see what happens, man. We know the West is stacked. You could beat anybody, you could lose to anybody. So, I mean, we're locked in right now to what we're doing every day.
Yeah, well, so what makes this Blazers team special, though? This is your first year with the team. What have you kind of learned about this team?
I mean, it's a good team. It's just that we're a team. We play together. We got a lot of unselfish guys. We got a deep team. We added a couple new pieces recently off the buyout market. And like I said, we're playing good basketball towards the end of the season. So everybody has their role. Everybody's locked into winning here. And that has always happened in the NBA. So I'm really lucky to be a part of this team right now. Locked
in for sure. Seth Curry, our guest right now on Unpacking It. And so this is your first year in Portland, and it's coming off of a season last year where you were injured and have had to come back from a leg surgery. And so what has this season been like for you personally, and what was that journey like getting back from the tough season-ending injury last year?
I mean, first of all, I'm just blessed to be able to get back on the floor every night. You know, get back healthy, try to get my rhythm back as the season goes along. After being out of years, it's tough. You know what I'm saying? Coming to a new team, a new environment. Also, just trying to get my game back after missing that entire year, like I said. So I'm learning on the fly. It's been ups and downs, but like I said, I feel good, healthy right now, and I'm continuing getting better, playing better as the team plays better. So it's been a good learning experience, but hopefully this year is my first taste of playoff basketball, and I'm excited about that.
That's right. That would be huge. So what was that like, though, for you now looking back at last season where you're having to watch from the bench because you're dealing with an injury and there was some uncertainty about the injury, then you have to have surgery and you know you're out for the year. What did that do to your just kind of the mental side of things, your faith? How was it tested during that challenging season?
It was a rough year, honestly. I mean, like I said, it was uncertainty about the injury. It was a weird injury. I could have came back last year or not, just depending on how fast the stress fracture heals. But, I mean, it tested me in all areas of my life. Like I said, tried to stay mentally strong and mentally locked into my rehab throughout the year and know, just trust that I'll be able to get back out there and get opportunities to get back on the floor. So it was probably the toughest year of my career for sure, just having to sit out. But, I mean, my hard work paid off just to be able to rehab and working out throughout the summer when I was able to get back on the floor. And it's been a lot of fun to be back on the floor this year.
That's right, being able to bounce back and land in Portland. Our guest right now is Seth Curry. And I want to talk more about your journey to the NBA in just a little bit. But I was thinking about it. So you grew up around the NBA. Of course, you watched your dad, you watched your brother, and you had an understanding about the league. But when you started your own career, what was the biggest surprise, or was there anything that you weren't prepared for or that you weren't expecting beforehand?
I wouldn't say there's any surprises or anything I wasn't expecting. Like I said, I've been around the NBA my whole life. Growing up, my dad playing 16 years in the NBA, and then watching my brother get drafted to the league, and just watching his progression. But I had a different journey. I had to earn my way every step of the way, from college to the league. You know what I'm saying? Being lightly recruited coming out of high school to having to play in the G League and wait for my opportunity to prove that I'm an NBA player. That was the biggest thing. Just having that patience and knowing that I belong in the NBA, but just waiting on my turn to be able to go out there and prove it. So it's just a matter of perseverance and self-belief and just strong faith in that I get the opportunity. So it was a different path from what my brother experienced and my father experienced. So that was the main experience that I had to grow with my own career.
Yeah, because you didn't follow that same path, and so we're going to get into that next segment and kind of go from the D League all the way to the Blazers. But before we get into that, I had to ask you about this. The All-Star game was in Charlotte, and it was fun to see you and your dad and brother a part of all the festivities. Even your mom was probably the star of the weekend. But before All-Star weekend, you ended up getting engaged. And I'm a sucker for a good engagement story. So what can you share as far as how you proposed to your now fiance?
It was a private thing between us two, to be honest. But it was that All-Star weekend with me getting engaged and having my entire family around when I was able to do it, and experience that whole weekend back in the hometown, Charlotte, with the three-point contest, the All-Star weekend. It's a rare occurrence that the entire family can be around each other during the season, first and foremost, but to be able to do it on a big stage and represent the city of Charlotte and hopefully the right light and kind of be the unofficial host of the weekend was a lot of fun and a very special time for our family, a lot of memories that we'll carry with us for the rest of our lives. So it was great for the NBA and our family to all have that experience.
Yeah, man, to wrap in an engagement into the experience in Charlotte, that's really cool. So what are you excited most about, just being engaged and thinking about being married?
I'm excited about it all, man. As I continue to grow my family and just learn on the fly, to be honest, just try to experience this whole life with the growing family and I see my brother get married at a young age and do everything the right way. So I have two great role models, my dad and my brother, just how the way they lead their families and just trying to carry on that legacy. You know what I'm saying? It's a very special time right now.
Very cool. Well, I'm happy for you, and congratulations. We're joined by Portland guard Seth Curry, and he's had quite the journey to the NBA, and he alluded to it a little bit. But Seth, I want to really just kind of hear your perspective on just an incredible kind of persevering story that you've experienced on your way to the NBA. And I even want to go back to college, because you spent 1 year at Liberty. What was the experience like for you to have to go through the transferring process and then the redshirting process before really being able to step on the court at Duke?
It was just that learning experience, I'm saying, going from low major basketball at Liberty to having a great experience at Liberty University and having a great freshman season to unexpectedly just transferring to the biggest basketball program in the country at Duke and being on that huge stage and just preparing during that redshirt season to play at Duke it was fun. Honestly, that was the year we won the national championship, helping those guys prepare and practice and get better and all that. But that year off, redshirt touches your mental toughness as well. You got to lock into practice every day, and you have a year of not being able to court, but it's not a year off. It's a year of continuing to work on your game, work on your body, get better, and hopefully hit the ground running once you're able to play. So, my experience at Liberty and Duke was magnificent. Something I wouldn't trade for the world.
So when you look back from a faith perspective, how did your faith grow during college? How was it challenged during college from your time at Liberty and at Duke?
Honestly, growing up my entire life, I went to Christian high school, Christian college my first year at Liberty. So going to Duke, where it's obviously not a Christian school, that tests you. You know what I'm saying? It's a different experience, different environment. It's a matter of just staying in your principles that I was raised on and grounded on and my faith and staying in the Word and being mentally strong and and things like that. So it was definitely a learning experience. Definitely prepared me for life after school and being strong. But I mean, like I said, it was a great experience going to Liberty, transferring to Duke, and I learned a lot at both places.
Our guest is Seth Curry. He played his college basketball at Duke and now is a guard for the Portland Trailblazers. And so in regards to your time at Duke, of course, Coach K was your coach. What impact did he have on your life and on your game as you look back at your time at Duke?
Oh, he had a tremendous impact. To me, he's obviously one of the greatest basketball coaches of all time, but the best college basketball coach in my opinion. But I mean, more so off the floor, he teaches you about leadership, you know what I'm saying, about hard work and bringing the team together. That's the biggest thing, just bringing everybody's individual goals to bring it together and make one goal, which is winning the national championship. So, I mean, every day I think back on something that he taught us in a practice, in a meeting, in a game, and I rely on that to get me through the day or get me through a practice. So, I mean, Coach K has a tremendous impact on my career and life.
Is there a line or a saying that does pop into your head most often that you could share today that maybe would even be helpful or encouraging to somebody listening?
I mean, one thing I always think back on is we used to always say was you can have the wrong mentality. I mean, you can have a good mentality, but it could be the wrong mentality. So you could be trying to do the right things, but I mean, if it's not built into your long-term goals and things like that, it can be leading you down the wrong path. So he used to always tell me to write down my goals and look at them every day, put them in my locker, put them in my bathroom, and work towards that every day. So that's something I still do to this day, and I mean, I think it's benefited me thus far.
Yeah, doing the best thing. That makes sense. Seth Curry with us here on Unpacking It. And so, all right, so you spent time at Duke from 2010 to 2013, and then you end up going undrafted. And so what was that experience like for you, and how did you grow from that experience of not being selected into the NBA?
I just had to change my mentality. I mean, obviously, I feel like I was an NBA player. I could play in the NBA, but I knew after not getting drafted, the journey would be a little bit tougher to get the opportunity. And for me, I mean, I just love to play the game of basketball. So a lot of people can have struggles in the D League and trying to work their way to get into the main stage, which is the NBA. But for me, I was just another opportunity for me to play basketball every day, to work on my game, to prepare to play the point guard position, which I didn't do much in college. So, like I said, I just try to persevere, be patient, wait my turn, and I knew the opportunity would come. And when it did come, to get a 10-day or a sign a contract to play in the NBA and to get the opportunity to make the most of it, and that's what I did. So it took me a couple of years to get that first opportunity in Sacramento in 2015 or 14 to play, and when I did, I feel like I was prepared for it.
Yeah, so take me into that season of your life, though, where you mentioned you're in the D League and you're kind of going back and forth because you are getting some opportunities, some 10-day contracts, Grizzlies, Suns, and kind of bouncing around a little bit. I mean, as much as you love basketball, you got this goal, you've got this dream to get to the NBA. So how tough was that, and how were you able to persevere, and what role did your faith play in that?
Yeah, I was playing well in the D League, playing against guys who came down from the NBA and continued to play well. But I mean, when I got those 10 days, those call ups, I wasn't really getting an opportunity to get on the floor. So it's a matter of getting to a team, but then it's an opportunity to get out there and play significant minutes to prove yourself. So once I got those teams, I really didn't get opportunity. So it was tough. You know what I'm saying? It was days I got down. I honestly didn't think I would get an opportunity to prove myself. But like I said, it's about perseverance, staying strong in my faith, and knowing that, I mean, if I get the opportunity, make the most of it. If not, everything will work out itself the way it's supposed to work out. So for me, it was a matter of having fun, playing in the G League, working my way to get the opportunity. And like I keep saying, just prepare myself for when it does happen. And I can only control what I can control, which is my game and being prepared. So that was really my mindset throughout those 2 years in the D League.
Man, good stuff from Seth Curry here on Unpacking It. He's a guard with the Portland Trailblazers, and they're gearing up for the playoffs in the next couple of weeks and really having a great season. And so going back, so you make it through the D-League kind of back and forth. The Kings give you a chance, and then the Mavs give you an opportunity as well, and you have a great season in 2016. How did things click, and why did they click in Dallas the way that they did, to where you finally felt like, all right, I'm supposed to be here, and things are starting to make sense for me?
I mean, honestly, I came in as prepared to play a backup role, in Dallas. But I mean, we had a couple of injuries to the starters, and a lot of young guys had the opportunity to come in and play significant minutes. I started probably half the games I played in Dallas, and I've got consistent minutes, and I played well consistently. I think I was groomed. I was ready for the opportunity to play the point guard position, play the two guard, and be consistent. You know, so I feel like I showed flashes during my time in Sacramento, but to really stick in the league, I had to show that I was consistently do those things every night. And I mean, the coaching staff there is great, and Rick Carlisle and his guys who put you in a great position to succeed. And like I said, I was prepared to make the most of it, and it was a really fun year for me.
Definitely. So then we talked about earlier the season-ending injury that took place last season, and then being able to overcome that and end up with the Portland Trailblazers this year and having a nice season, contributing with them off the bench. And so just a cool journey. And so I just want to share that with our listeners today, Seth. So I really appreciate you sharing that, because I think a lot of times, fans don't realize what goes into getting into the league and staying in the league, and it's not always easy for players. So cool to hear. And so kind of as we kind of wind things down a little bit here with Seth Curry on Unpacking It, I did want to ask you just about growing up. And we hear about your parents, and they played such a big role in your life, and it's cool to still see them so involved with all that you do. But from a faith perspective, how important was their influence on you growing up when it comes to them demonstrating what it looked like to follow Jesus and to make that a part of the Curry household growing up?
Oh, that was huge. That's who I am. That's who we are. And our family is a faith-based family who, we had my mom wake us up early in the morning before school for daily devotionals to set our values and have our minds on the right things before we went to school every day. You know what I'm saying? Our family is very, obviously, in the sports world and into basketball, but it was always God first, family, then other activities. So, that was always the thing my mom continued to stress to us growing up. And I think that's why we have the same values to this day. Basketball is important to us, but it's not everything. Okay, it's about who you are as a person. It's about your faith, your family, and doing the right things on a daily basis. And I think you hopefully see that in all of us every single day.
Yeah, no, that's good stuff. So then for you, day to day, how do you grow? What are some practical ways that you continue to seek the Lord and grow in your faith?
Yeah, being in the NBA lifestyle, it's hard to get to a church weekly. You know what I'm saying? Try to get that word in that sense. But for us, it's about going to chapels before every single game to try to get that word. I think the NBA does a great job of giving you that option if you want it. But for me personally, I try to start my day with a good daily devotional, whether it's on my phone, whether it's daily bread, or just opening the word and reading a quick chapter or whatever it is. I try to get in that routine of getting the word and praying every day. So that I have my mind on those right things and try to connect with God every single day. So like I said, with this lifestyle, it can be tough to stick to that routine, but this is very important to your mentality and try to stick to who you are.
That's awesome, man. Well, let's end it right there. And Seth, really appreciate you joining us here on Unpacking It. And I know you're gearing up for the playoffs, and so we wish you and the Blazers the best. And hey, maybe Charles Barkley's right. He's saying you guys are going to the finals, so that would mean knocking out your brother in the Warriors. So we'll see.
He's rarely right, but I hope he's right this time.
That's fair, absolutely. So Seth, really appreciate it, and hopefully we can catch up again.
All right,
awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks, Seth.
For more information about the show, our events, and other resources, visit unpackinit.com. That's unpackinit.com. We hope you are encouraged, inspired, and challenged by what you heard today. To support our show and Unpacking It Ministries with a financial gift, visit unpackinit.com/donate. We look forward to unpacking sports, faith, and life with you again next week.